Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. And I apologize if I sound a little quiet. And I also did turn down the game's music volume down by 1 notch, so I shouldn't be uh, too much quieter than the game's music whenever it's playing. As you can see on the little notice text on the screen, my dog is sleeping, so if you hear any snoring, or I believe it would sound like rumbling through my microphone, that is her. Yeah, I hope everyone had a good Memorial Day yesterday, for those of us who are in America. And the plan for today is to clear out the rest of the fourth island, which is pretty much just the left side. Destroy the cliffside portal, and then move on over to the fifth island, and then if all that can be accomplished in today's stream, which I believe it can be, the next stream will be the beginning of Island 5 stuff. And hopefully it's not winter anymore by that time, but we'll see. And I may have forgotten to say it last stream, but once again, I do appreciate anyone who is watching or listening to the streams, whether it be here on Twitch or when I upload them onto YouTube as full-length, uncut, unedited videos. I do appreciate the views, and in some cases, I do appreciate the comments. I've already had some interaction in that way on one of my streams, so I do appreciate that. Thank you for anyone and everyone. Yeah, I'm a little up in the air as to like what exactly I want to do for next, I guess you could say, stream series. Because I really do want to play really do want to stream a Baldur's Gate playthrough. On the other hand, it's like, well, I could do like something else that isn't like a, you know, I would effectively be like stuck. I mean, that might be the wrong way to look at it. But stuck with something for however many, you know, streams. But I'm thinking for whatever I do next, once this playthrough's wrapped up, I think I might hop straight over into a Baldur's Gate playthrough, and I think with that, it might be a tactical difficulty playthrough. I may not do honor mode for that. I think I've said this before in the first or second stream earlier in the week, or earlier a couple days ago. But I just don't feel like prepared for an honor mode playthrough. I know I can go through it blind, and it isn't like I don't know what the game has to offer. It's just I've never experienced honor mode, so I don't know what things are specifically different. Oh well, we'll see. Just leave I'll leave the wall like this, just for this night. No, and it's not winter anymore. Let's go, dude. That seemed like a shorter winter. Awesome. Gonna end up losing archers just because I'll go nice and squirrel. That's alright. So I hope I didn't lose. No, I only lost that one guy, huh? Interesting. Yeah, but, oh no, I lost another guy. I didn't notice him. But no, hopefully, the music still isn't, like, too much louder than me when, music plays at the same time that I'm talking. I need one more piece of gold. There we are. Farm over here built because it is no longer winter, so my farmers can actually farm. Yeah, I think that'd be enough. But I would like to get that farm to be a level 2 farm. That way those farmers don't have to leave to, like, sleep somewhere. And I'll make another 4 farmers. Alright, now we just have archers. Now I think at this point I have too many farmers. But I'll have 2 more builders. And I'll get this built, or at least started, not finished. I'm gonna go to the left, or I'm gonna go to the right side, see how the farmers, like, further over that way are doing. Get more gold, and then I will, finishing the boat all built, and then I'll see how it looks to, attack that portal. Shouldn't be too bad, so we'll see. If anything, actually, I'll just have the banker give me some gold. Yeah, and I do apologize for, like, not being super talkative. Just little focused on my, like, what I'm maybe gonna do. Just trying to, like, I guess use, like, pre-plan, oh my goodness, what I'm gonna do. My dog just sounded like a monster. She's very loud right now. She's very sleepy. Yeah. You would think she doesn't get enough sleep. Do that. Just because why not? I should have enough gold to get all the rest of the pieces out for this boat. Actually, I may not. Wow. Still not enough. Yeah, it should be more than enough now. Seeing as my bag is basically overflowing. You know, I kind of wish something. Looking back on it, I wish that from Call of Olympus that they retroactively like allowed for a bag upgrade in the base game and like all the other uh, Kingdom 2 Crowns stories instead of just it's like only in Call of Olympus do you have the ability to get a bag upgrade? Because it'd be so cool if you could be able to upgrade your bag in like the base game or whatnot. It would definitely make like having an abundance of gold like this less annoying. Yeah, so now the boat's done, it just has to get put on the water. So that can wait. And since the boat's basically like right by the bell, it's not like it's gonna take a long time for it to get moved over there, and then I gotta ring the bell and then wait. So all in all, things are good. You know what? Actually, because I have an abundance of gold right now, I'm gonna get some of these fire barrels, have them be ready to go. And then just because I can. I'm gonna use this portal to scout out ahead just to see like, hey, what does the left side look like? At least as best I can. I'm not gonna actually like teleport anywhere. Oh, that is the lizard. Another portal. Hermit. Wall. Okay. So that's not too bad actually. Like all things considered, that is actually not too bad. I might get the lizard. I might use the lizard mount. I don't know. I do quite like the griffin. I do think that having the ability to set things on fire would be helpful for, before I have catapults. Excuse me. May as well. May as well send all the knights. Because, I mean, there's what? Like 7 of them? So, yeah. Damn. Yeah, I want to say that. Uh, I want to say confidently that by the time the stream is done, however however many hours I do this stream for, I want to say I can definitely get to, at the very least, get to the cliff portal. The bomb might not be able to make it there and quick enough, but we'll see. I'm confident. I've said that about many things so far in this playthrough, so. Once again, I'm not too certain as to whether or not I want the lizard mount. Because the main thing I don't really care for about the lizard mount is its lack of stamina. It's not even about like how fast it is. It's more just like, hey, I hardly have any stamina to use to, have it sprint around. Yeah, I'd say all in all, how things are going smooth. I mean, I know I started the stream off, on a post Blood Moon day, so, like, yeah, it should be going smooth. But like, I do mean that. Things seem to be going pretty well. I'm sure Island 5 is going to be rough in the beginning. But, of course, I wouldn't expect anything less. Yeah. Now an idea I have for a YouTube video, kind of like a rant of a video a little bit, but like there's an idea behind it and what have you. And that's just, my thoughts on the Land Raider in Warhammer 40k, like, tabletop. Because I, as someone who, I really enjoy the Land Raider. I think in terms of like a vehicle, it is probably one of if not the coolest, vehicles that any one particular faction have. And I feel like for the sake of it, the Land Raider is like it should be kind of like this. Oh, like it's not like like bustedly overpowered like how some other vehicles for Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines may be, but it's more of like, in my perspective and in my opinion, from having tried to use a Land Raider and try to use it effectively at what you want it to be used for, which is transporting uh, units of transporting melee units that want to maybe make a charge but don't have the ability to advance and charge uh, during like the movement, and they don't have the ability to advance and charge if they advance. Um, and like I know for Chaos Space Marines it's a little bit less of an issue because Chosen have the ability to shoot and charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back, and like that's cool. But then it's like, okay, well, what about for like if you wanted to transport a brick of Legionnaires, or for whatever reason, or you wanted to transport like Abaddon and 10 Chosen, or not 10 Chosen, but like Abaddon and like 5 Terminators or whatnot. I know there's the whole thing of like, oh well, points wise it doesn't cost enough, or it's too expensive when you think about it. But it's like that's my point. Like I think the Land Raider, the base Land Raider, I'm not talking about the Loyalist Land Raider Redeemer or the Land Raider Crusader. I think just by and large, all variants of the Land Raider, whether that be the Loyalists' 3 versions of the Land Raider, or Chaos Space Marines, and the Chaos Cult Army Land Raiders, I think that all of them are overcosted, but not by that much. I think if at the worst they're overcosted by maybe 25 points, at the least like 15 points. Because and the main reason why I say this is because when you look at the base Land Raider, its sponson and guns can be either if I remember correctly off the top of my head, it's either las cannons or heavy bolters. Now you'd probably just want to take the las cannons just because, hey, the Land Raider having the ability to do some anti-tank shooting on top of whatever in your army might have anti-tank shooting, or it's like a main battle line tank. That's pretty useful, right? Like that is like there is value to that. But the problem just comes down to the thing is very big. Like the Land Raider itself as a vehicle is freaking huge. Now, I also do like that it's big, and the reason why I say this is because the Land Raider... So, something I've noticed with, like, comparing the Rhino to the Land Raider, and maybe this is more like a tabletop simulator, thing to notice, but I can imagine it does translate a little bit into physical tabletop space, is... the Rhino is a lot smaller. Like, it's a fair bit smaller of a vehicle than the Land Raider. Now, at least for Chaos Space Marines, the Rhino can fit the same amount of units or models as the Land Raider does. It just doesn't have the assault ramp ability, which allows units that are in it to still be eligible to charge when the vehicle moves, or after the vehicle has moved that turn. Now, the nice thing about the Land Raider is that because of its size, deploying, disembarking the units that are in it within 3 inches of it is a lot easier because it itself is a lot bigger. So there's more of a footprint that you can stick things within 3 inches of it. Now, the problem just once again comes down to it's also big. Like, its size is also a problem because it makes it more difficult to move it around. Like, move it around the board. I'd imagine it's a similar kind of issue to Imperial Knights, with like big knights, other than just big knights can walk through terrain because of them being, I think, super heavy walkers. But that's just like a little bit of the why I think Land Raiders are overcosted and like other things. It wouldn't be a terribly long like rant kind of video, and I definitely wouldn't I wouldn't say it would be scripted more as just it's very much guided by some bullet points I've had like on the thought like on the subject, and just hey, that could make a interesting and potentially slightly maybe controversial take in the Warhammer 40k tabletop community with regards to players who play whatever flavor of Space Marines, you know. And granted, I also am of the opinion that I think for Chaos Space Marines, like Chaos Undivided, they should have their own versions of the Land Raider Redeemer and Land Raider Crusader. I mean, it only makes sense. Like, why is it that only the Loyalists have a variant of the Land Raider that can carry two variants of the Land Raiders that can carry more units or more models, right? At different points costs and different like suite of weapons. Because it's not like the kits are any different. I mean, like the Chaos Land Raider is built off of the same kit as the Loyalist Land Raider, or Rhino. The Chaos Land Raider is built off of the same plastic kit as the Loyalist Land Raider, and same thing goes with like the Land Raider Redeemer and Crusader. The only thing you probably have to like look for is just the different like spawns and weapons. It's just the big thing that the Chaos Land Raider has in terms of its sprue is it has I think it has the Chaos like upgrade sprue. Nice. Hi, dog. Are you awake? I think my dog's waking up. Yeah, I know a little topic I talked about very briefly in yesterday's stream was my experience playing, like as certain armies and against other armies. When it comes down to it, a lot of my experience comes from having tried learning Space Marines and then ultimately saying, you know what, I think Chaos Space Marines and like Leagues of Votann speak more to me, and then trying out Leagues of Votann and trying out Chaos Space Marines, and then just going, man, this is it, this is the goods. And it's not to say that I just like every other faction. It's more of like, no, it's just something about Leagues of Votann and, the Chaos Space Marines just speak to me. right? Like unironically, I think that with regards to like the capabilities of shooting and also toughness, I think Leagues of Voton, at least to me, are what I feel like Space Marines should be like. Like they should be kind of tough. They should be kind of scary in shooting. And granted, I know part of the problem with Space Marines is just the hyper specialization of the units. Like I know that's part of the problem, and that is one thing I don't really like about Loyalist Space Marines. That's something I actually do kind of like about Chaos Space Marines and the Leagues of Voton, is that there is that level of I can have a squad of 10 Hearthkin warriors as a Leagues of Voton, and I can basically just say, okay, I want 5 of these guys to use, you know, one special weapon of whatever thing, and then I want these other 5 to only use their ion blast. Only use ion blasters, and then you throw them in a Sagittar and you split them into two units of 5, right? Like you could do that and it works. Or or you split the that 10 man into 2 5s, however you want, right? And then with like Chaos Space Marines, it's just more of a matter of like, hey, Legionnaires can have, you can give them all bolt guns and close combat weapons, or you could give them all bolt pistols and chain swords, or you could throw in like 1 or 2 heavy weapons depending on like, what the squad size is. Like I like the level of variety, and just from like the real, like realistically, like how, like why would you want to feel the like when you're mustering your forces for like a real engagement, if this were reality, why would you want like an anti-tank your anti-tank element for your infantry to all be centralized into one squad of guys? Like that just doesn't make sense, because all it takes is one stray tank shot or bolt round or whatever to start you start losing guys, and then oh well, you lost your anti-tank element. It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I know that with the Voton, I also kind of say like with a very like tentative and like asterisk next to them, or like I like them. However, one thing I can say about my experience with the Voton is in the game that I was trying them out, I was playing against my friend who was trying out the Imperial Guard for the first time. So that's why I don't feel like it's a very good like indicator as a, yeah, the Voton feels good. I'm sure for the most part, yeah, it's my general feeling about them is pretty like well substantiated. But I'm very like very hesitantly saying, yeah, I really like the Voton. And I know that the Voton are getting their codex, I say soon, like by the end of the year, early next year. And with that, I hope that good things happen to Voton. I do hope that their points costs go up. Like they're a little bit more in line with like Space Marine points costs. And I say this not because, oh, I like Space Marines. I'm looking at more of the Voton are a kind of like semi-elite army. Like they're sort of similar to Space Marines in that sense of semi-elite, right? Now, yeah, oh, but they hit on 4s, and oh, they're 1 wound and like I think a 4-up or 5-up save. That's true, but with the whole like accuracy and shooting phase and likelihood to wound, the Voton are very not that dissimilar to Space Marines, right? If you're attacking anything that has a judgment token on it, you're most of the time you're going to be hitting on 3s. you're attacking with a character like a Call or an Einherjar champion, I think you're hitting on 2s. And then for wounding, you're getting a +1 to wound, so it's like with a moment for Loyalist Space Marines. I think if anything with the Voton, they definitely do need the points cost increase, not because they're overpowered, but because it would help lessen how many of them do you need to purchase. And hopefully with their new with their codex coming up in the future, they get more units, like they get like a dedicated, this is a tank, it does not transport people kind of vehicle, or like a character that like, or another character, because they really only have 3 characters. They have Uthar the Destined, which is basically a named Call that doesn't give anything he's attached to lethal hits, which is the big like downside to him. You have the Call, and then you have Einherjar champions. I think if anything with the Voton, they definitely could use, or I'm forgetting about the Grimnir, the Photon Psychers. I think if anything, the Voton could definitely use getting another like unnamed, like non or generic character model. What that would be, I don't know. It could be an Ironkin. That's something I've been kind of like, ooh, I wish the Voton had like their kind of equivalent of a Dreadnought. And I know that those technically do exist for them because of the Ironkin. Now I know in terms of like size and its profile, it probably wouldn't. It probably would be the same as like an old Boxknot or Hellbrute. So, you know, you're looking at 6 or 7 inches of movement, toughness 8 or 9, maybe, you know, somewhere between 9 to 10 wounds with like a 3-up save, maybe. Probably no invulnerable save. You know, you never know. Like, that would be cool. Like, to see the Voton get that. Like, get a dedicated, this is a tank, it has no transport capability, it is a tank kind of vehicle, and then, excuse me, their own equivalents of Dreadnoughts through the Ironkin. But that's not for Voton. That's why, like, I have an interest in Voton. Also, there's Space Dwarfs, Rock and Stone, you know, Deep Red Galactic, woo, you know, all that. But for Chaos Space Marines, and this is kind of the funny thing I've thought about with Chaos Space Marines, is one of my big gripes with Loyalist Space Marines is, man, their shooting feels kind of disappointing, and overall, for one reason or another, they feel quite middling, right? Maybe it's because I don't entirely know how to use aggressors or Blade Guard veterans, or, you know, maybe it's just the hyper specialization of units for Loyalist Space Marines that just, for one reason or another, rub me the wrong way. I don't know. But with Chaos Space Marines, I don't have the same general gripes as I do with Loyalists. Like, I can clearly look at, like, the shooting profiles of Chaos Space Marine equivalents, you know, compared to the Loyalists, and basically just go, yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with Predator Destructors being, you know, the same as Loyalist Destructors, or, you know, slightly worse than Gladiator, or, you know, worse than Gladiator Lancers. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bug me. And in practice, like in games, right? I've already found like what detachment I really like. I've already found what units have just always seemed to give me the most bang for my buck in terms of like use case and just general effectiveness. Like Chosen, yeah, no duh, they're Chosen, but like small Legionnaire squads, feel great. Um, Possessed feel great, especially in Creations of Bile. Terminators, similar to Loyalist Marines, I feel like Terminators are overcosted a little bit for Chaos, but they're not bad. They're pretty tanky. They've survived melee combat with a Norn Emissary in my experience, which is freaking crazy to think about, because Norn Emissaries are very lethal in melee, even if they are more shooting oriented. But I don't know. Like for me, it's more of like it's for Chaos Space Marines. There was a more natural. Yes, I understand what blank does without needing to look too far into it. Whereas with Loyalists, it's like you look at an Ultramarines list, like you want to build an Ultramarines list, and not say that it isn't straightforward, but it's more of, hey, example, Hellblasters are pretty good general purpose shooting units that can punch up pretty decently by themselves. Throw in a you throw in a lieutenant, and cool, now they have lethal hits. Excuse me. That means that they can punch up pretty effectively, though they may not need to because they're using plasma weapons, non-supercharged. They're strength 7, supercharged. They're strength 8. But you look at that and it's like, okay, well, what about Starguard veterans? They're also shooting units too. They have but they're more good into you want to shoot. You want to have them shoot into your Oath of Moment target, but then that becomes a smidge problematic if you don't have a Brute Gilliman, because you can't place effectively 2 oaths on something. I don't know. For me with Loyalist Space Marines, the issue comes down to, I think, with the wide variety of units that you can use, it's not like it's hard to find what units just kind of speak to you, because I know with Loyalist Marines, the units I really like are the Gravis Armor units, so Heavy Intercessors, Aggressors, Apothecary Biologists, Captain and Gravis Armor. I've had nothing but good experiences with trying to use those units. I've had a Captain in Gravis Armor survive way longer than he ought to have, while surrounded by 2 10-man squads of Immortals with Plasmancer and I think Overlord attached to them, and Luminar Zeras. I've had nothing but good experiences with Gravis units so far. And I don't know, maybe it's more of a me problem of I'm expecting too much from Space Marines, but I think it doesn't help that because of the level of specialization that Space Marines as an army have, and unfortunately because they are the poster boy army, they are gonna in one way or another be the army that everyone, or most people who are new to 40k will just gravitate towards. And that's not true in all cases. My friend who plays Necrons, for him it was Necrons. He saw them, was they're freaking cool. Space, sci-fi undead lich mummies. That's cool. If you want to boil it down to the aesthetic, and I know for myself, it's I love the aesthetic of the Imperium. Just generally speaking, I overall like the Imperium as a faction when it comes to its aesthetic and when it comes to its design of things. But in terms of play, it's kind of hard because when it comes to the Imperial Guardsmen, I think that they are by far my favorite faction besides Orcs. But like rules-wise, they seem fairly complicated. And I know in terms of like collecting an army of guardsmen, they are an expensive army, similar to orcs, and I believe Tyranids. You know, Sisters of Battle, you know, or the Adeptus Sororitas, you know, that's an army, you know, where I'm like, I like them too, like the overall aesthetic. They're pretty cool. They have some cool, unique characters and like little side stories that end up happening. But man, like their role, even if you could boil down that, like their role is actually not that complicated. It just reads as complicated, and I think that's the big thing. Is it's not that some factions have genuinely complicated like army rules. It's more of the way it's written out and described as to how it works on their, you know, in their codex, just comes across as overly complicated. You know, that's mainly why I appreciate Chaos Space Marines and the Leagues of Votann, because their army rules are very simple. Leagues of Votann, you have judgment tokens. When things die, like when a unit of yours dies to something, you put one judgment token on it. One judgment token adds a +1 to hit, you know, against that unit. If they have 2 tokens on it, which is the max that any one unit can have put on them, it's a +1 to hit and a +1 to wound. Simple, right? Very simple. Chaos Space Marines. When you're in the shooting phase or the fight phase, if you select a unit to fight or shoot, you can choose the Dark Pact. That requires you to make a leadership test. If you pass it, cool, nothing bad happens, and you get to have, you know, lethal or sustained hits, whichever you chose when you decided to Dark Pact. If you fail the leadership test for that unit, they take D3 mortal wounds. Simple, very, you know, very simple and straightforward, right? And it's not to say that, oh, Space Marines have a very not simple, like simple straightforward rule. It's just more of I don't like the value that Oath of the Moment has. Like if you're playing non-Codex Divergent armies, so like Ultramarines, if the Oath of Moment something, you get to reroll the hit roll, and you get to add a +1 to the wound roll. That's pretty good, like all things considered, but you only get that against one unit. Directly comparing that to the Leagues of Votann judgment system, the Leagues of Votann, if something is judged, if you're playing the Oath Band detachment, you start the game off with judging 4 of the enemy's units, and those 4 units have 2 tokens each, effectively meaning all of those units have anything that you have as the Votann player that shoots into those or fights into those gain a +1 to hit and a +1 to wound. Sure, being able to reroll the hit roll is better than adding a +1 to the hit roll, but for the Votann, since they on average hit on 4s, I think besides characters hitting on 3s, that's pretty good. Especially when, like, let's say you have Thunderkin with the conversion beamer, or not the conversion beamer, the grav cannons shooting into vehicles. Because that's when that's crazy. Like I had, like in that Votann game where I tried them, I had a squad of Thunderkin just absolutely demolish I believe it was a Lehman Russ Commander tank. Now, also, I don't know if we were entirely playing that match out properly, but like, man, like that was an experience. I was just like, I felt so bad doing that because I didn't know that was going to exactly happen, and then here I went and just completely annihilated a tank that was basically untouched by anything else, and then it just crumpled. But like, Dude. You know, like, holy. Might as well have 2 more nights. Man, where are these builders at? Like, they're taking forever to get over here. Yeah, and then with regards to the factions I've fought or played against, I played against Necrons. That's the one army I have generally the most experience against. Next would be Tyranids, and I actually quite enjoy playing against Tyranids. Granted, I don't appreciate a Norn Emissary. Norn Emissaries, they're tough, and it doesn't help that in my experience I've played multiple games where I think dealt with more than one. So yeah, it's it's not the greatest feeling. Um, but what can you do? But I played against Tyranids, played against Necrons. I've played against Tau, and the Tau weren't too bad. Granted, when I played against the Tau, I was playing Chaos Space Marines, and I want to say that overall, how I handled my positioning was pretty good. Like, all things considered. Because I mean, not because the only time in that Tau match I remember my stuff getting just kind of bombarded with like a lot of shooting was turn 1, and then it was pretty much like after turn 1 I just started securing the board. But in all fairness to my friend's friend, that was his first time fighting Chaos Space Marines, and that was also my first time fighting Tau. And I think we both were coming at that experience with the same general thing of like, I know that Tau are really good at shooting, and he knows that Chaos Space Marines can be pretty good in melee, and then like that was basically it. Like, I didn't know anything about his detachment, which was I think it was the Kuyan detachment. He didn't know anything about creations of bile or uh, the like particulars as to how Vashtor the Arcaphane works. Um, but yeah, it was a fun match. Like that was a good match. Like at first I thought the game was gonna be kind of rough, but once turn two wrapped up because I was going second, I it started looking a lot like okay, you know, I may pull this out, right? This may work out pretty well. It it helped a lot that in my turn two I managed to destroy his two devilfish that he had with his I believe they were breacher squads, and apparently from what my friend's friend told me, those were like his big like threats, and the fact that Vashtor and I believe one of the possessed squads managed to deal with those pretty handily really messed him up. Like it threw a wrench in his plans, like very I don't know. If I had to say anything like negative about any of the armies I've played against, it's that I really don't like the Necrons. And I don't know if it's just like like as an army, I don't like Necrons, or if it's particularly because of the list I've fought the most of against my friend. But man, like Necrons just don't feel fun to fight. Like you have to put so much into one squad or like one unit just to hope that you take it down, and it's like, man, that does not feel good. Because I don't, because it's funny because it kind of reminds me of an issue that my friend's friend said about Tau, where since Tau don't have keywords on a lot of their stuff, they struggle to deal with units that have invulnerable saves. And something that I just found I find funny, like thinking back on it, is it's like, man, like I kind of want to say the issue, like, because he said something like along the lines of that, where it's like Tau have a hard time getting through units that have invulnerable saves, and unfortunately, I think the Necrons tend to have invulnerable saves. But another thing he said was he was telling me about how the like core army rule for Tau worked with the whole guiding system, and about how, you know, if you ever decide to shoot something that isn't being like you're not being guided against, you get a -1 to hit. And I'm just like, yeah, that sucks, because especially from what he was telling me about a lot of the weapon profiles on some of the units, they don't just have like one weapon that is good at shooting against whatever target. They have like a suite of weapons. Like they'll have a missile pod that's good against vehicles. They'll have guns that are good against infantry. They'll have guns that are good against like elite infantry. And it sucks because, you know, you have to shoot a lot into something if, let's say, your gun's missed and whatever you're shooting at is like at one model left, one wound left, and it's like, I really don't want to shoot my anti-vehicle stuff into it, but like I need to if I want to kill this thing. And it's like, yeah, that you know, that feels bad. And that's kind of how I feel with fighting Necrons, where it's like the level of dedication you have to have into just saying, I'm only going to shoot at this band of immortals with my Space Marine intercessors. It feels bad, man. It feels bad. especially if you happen to miss most of those shots, because it's just like, man, that was a whole round of shooting and a whole lot of nothing happened. And yeah, I know it's because, you know, dice, you know, you're rolling dice to see if you hit and wound stuff and all that. But man, is it not rough to just have like a bad round of shooting against like Necrons, especially if you leave like a band of immortals or warriors at one model left, because it's just like, dude, it's so close. And then it goes to your opponent's command phase, and then they get back like 3-4 guys potentially, because immortals and warriors I think are all like each one wound. Like, that just feels terrible. But that's what excuse me, but that's what I mean. I know my dad, who ended up getting into Warhammer because I was getting into, you know, the hobbying part of it. The army he really likes, or the units he likes a lot of, is Imperial and Chaos Knights. And he at some point wants to play a game on Tabletop Simulator against me, and I'm dreading that eventual match, because even if we keep it simple and it's just like, we're not worrying about objectives, we're not worrying about stratagems, it's just try to table the opponent. Man, I do not look forward to that, because of just Imperial Knights being Imperial Knights. Even if his the list that he's like put together isn't super heavy on armigers, I'm not looking forward to that. I don't have with the Chaos Space Marine army list that I made that I really like. They don't have the tools to adequately deal with it. I mean, granted, I say that I've had good luck with the Chosen being with Fabius Bile and the Chaos Lord, and another 10-man squad being able to punch up and like take down Gorkonauts. But man, I don't want to like expect that much. The best chance I have at beating, like just in a deathmatch kind of game, a 40k against Imperial Knights, like against my dad, would be just Vashtor, because he's the anti-vehicle beatstick. But I would have to hope that just Vashtor survives. I mean, I also do have, in that list that I made, I also have 2 Predator Destructors, so like that's four las cannons each, or 4 las cannon shots total, if I remember it right. I'd have to look at the data sheet again. Okay, I think now is the time to build the bomb. Yeah, I know. Now that I think about it, a game I actually wouldn't mind to stream like every now and then, like off and on, would be a FTL, because I actually do quite enjoy playing FTL. And from what I remember of last I played, I'm missing one ship. Like not the layout of the ship, like just one whole ship, and I believe that's the crystal ship. I was well on the way to getting it unlocked, and I just had really bad luck with the requirements for it. I could put that one gem. I could put the one gem in the bank, but hopefully the bomb gets here quickly. Yeah, and I'm not gonna end the stream when I complete the fourth island. I'm just going to. I'm gonna go to the fifth island, try to get it get established there and all that, and then if anything, I'll probably call it a stream then. Just because I looked at the time as like how long I've been streaming for. It's been about an hour and 17 minutes. Not too long, so want to keep it going. Keep this going for a little bit longer. I say a little bit longer. Just go back and check to see where the bomb's at. Maybe not today, actually. Like, not this. Maybe not this day. We'll see. Actually, yeah, I'll say for the. Actually. Now we could do it. And there we go. Cleared out for the fourth time. Heck yeah, dude. All those poor people who were stolen away during retaliations and blood moons. But yeah, that was the fourth island. Nice. Ring the bell. Wait for everyone to get on the boat. Just go around and grab stuff. Oh, well, unfortunate time on that one. definitely gonna have a lot of gold. Yeah. Okay, I believe I'm waiting for... what, one more night? One more night, some builders, and maybe farmers? There are only 2 nights coming with me. Hold on. Before we set sail, I just want to look and see where people are running off to. Those farmers are going off to the farm that was right by the cliff portal. Those builders are building that. Dang. Oh well. Okay. That sucks a little, but eh. Didn't grab the lizard, which I could, but So Island 1, I didn't grab the hermit. Island 2, I didn't get the statue, the stag, or the hermit. Island 3, I didn't get the horses, because, Alright. left side portal's over this way. Good to know, good to know. What about a right side? Because right side's where the boat was. Okay, so it looks like the game wants me to go left first. Yeah. So I will be going left first. Probably don't need to upgrade that wall right now, but better now than never, right? taking a quick break. Alright, I am back. I do very much apologize for my dog barking basically in the mic. She absolutely hates whenever anyone rings the doorbell. If anything, I will probably go a good chunk of time without having my mic on. But we'll see. Dang, how did I lose, like, so many archers? Banker, I didn't want you to pick up that gold piece. Yeah. So, for a good chunk of the stream, I'm gonna have my mic off. So if it's just unnaturally quiet, I do apologize, or at least, no commentary. That is why my dog is a bit frazzled. So just for the sake of myself and everyone and anyone who may be watching this now or in the future, I'll have my mic muted for the time being. Alrighty, everyone, we're gonna take a quick break, quick bathroom break. Let my dog out so she can go to the bathroom. So, break time. Alrighty. I am back from my quick little break. My dog, who was barking over the microphone because the doorbell got rang, did not go outside. So chances are she'll probably get uppity and want to go outside sometime in the nearish future. It's just how it goes with her. She's very particular. So far, the start on the 5th island. It's been a little rough. It's been a little rough. It was bound to happen. I already had a feeling that island number 5 would be kind of rough. I know I have a lot of guys here who don't have any jobs, so I'm gonna give them a. I'm gonna get 2 more archers. But I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna leave there being some guys who don't have anything, just so that way, like when I do expand out to the left, they're more like comfortably. Like I have guys who can be like, okay, you guys are farmers. Boom, bam. The right side seems to be the side that's getting, like, beat down the hardest. I know I need to expand. I want to go, like, try to focus a little more on the left side first, but I want to see if I can get the right side forest cleared out a bit, so that way I can help with future stuff, and also hopefully help with getting gold. That's the hope, at least. Because, I mean, if I can get those trees cut back all the way up to here, then that's great. That works out. Don't think I have enough, but I want to check. Yeah. I am 1 short. and it wouldn't get finished upgrading in time to be of like substantial use. That's fine. I just need to get my defenses up. Like that's basically like what it is boiling down to, is I need to get things in a better spot to where I don't need to basically be hovering over my stuff as much. I know it's gonna be kind of hard because it's, you know, starting out on the 5th island. It's, I think, day, what is it, like, it's what, day 100 plus, so, and it's on hard difficulty, so yeah. Oh well. Whoa. Well, that wasn't cool. Yeah, who knows? Actually, I think if anything, for like a little like palate cleanser kind of stream, like once this playthrough's done, and once again, going back to what I said before in one of the previous streams about like the thoroughness of this playthrough, I'm not entirely certain if I would say want to. I don't know if I'm going to be as like strict on myself with like, okay, you know, once Island 5 is cleared out, next, you know, the stream after that stream will be the clearing out of Island 1's, you know, cliff portal, and then going to Island 2 and doing the same thing, and going to Island 3 and doing the same thing. I'm not sure. Granted, Islands 1 to 3 should be fairly smooth, and I say that mainly because it's like all that's left is the cliffside portals. Oh, hello. But all in all, it should be good. But I think for a palate cleanser, assuming my rig can handle it and not explode, would be some Space Marine 2. Just do some operations, maybe do a little bit of PvP. But we'll see. But hello there. Say how do you do? At least I now have gold. So I think things might start finally be turning around on Island 5. Oh, shoot. That was not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting the left side to be so bombarded like that. Well, luckily I didn't lose too much. Let's get 2 more archers. I think yeah, I think the right side I got the trees cut back enough. I'll cut these back. Oh well. Person that popped in and said, hey, sorry if I didn't respond back to you quick enough. If you pop back in here or happen to look at the VOD. My apologies. But I appreciate the coming in and saying hey, so. Maybe now I have to start worrying about the left side more. Maybe. I know my big concern with with streaming Space Marine 2, besides the whole like, hey, can my will my graphics card blow up? Trying to do it is volume. I know Space Marine 2 is quite loud. Ah, yes, another, I assume, bot advertiser for a cheap views website service. Sorry, but I do not appreciate that. Like, once again, I understand why I personally am seeing the traffic of that kind of stuff. It's because small streamer, you know, of course. But once again, don't really appreciate it. Like, thanks, no thanks, kind of thing. Yeah, I might as well just get rid of those trees. Might as well get rid of those trees. That way I can have that farm. Yeah, the camp's gonna get destroyed, but I can deal with it. Main thing that's important is I get farmers and spearmen. See how the right side's going. Perfectly fine. Amazing. Oh, that's great. Well, this is gonna be a very rough night. I can already see that. I'm gonna lose a lot of guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough blood moon. chances are high I'm gonna lose a lot of guys. I may even lose my crown. Are they coming mostly from the right side then? Seems like it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My people, no! Don't take the hermit! That's not good. I saw they took a gem, so... I lost the knight, lost the bigger hermit. No! That's annoying. Well, this is very rough. But I already had a feeling this was going to be very rough, so... Well... That all definitely could have gone a whole lot worse. Didn't lose any of my gems. That's the good stuff. But now I just need to get gold. Rearm and re-defend my stuff. And recover from this loss. I'm really bummed to have lost the baker. But lost the baker, lost I think 2 of my farmers. Lost 2 of my knights on the right side. don't think I lost any builders, but I haven't done a head count yet. If I remember my head count of builders, I had 5. So we'll see. So that's 2. That's 4. So I think I at worst lost 1. That's definitely rough. Definitely rough, but I can pull this around. I've had arguably worse blood moons. Get 2 more farmers, have a total of 4. That should be good for that 1 farm. You know, especially given how much space that they have, so. Okay, I should have enough comfortable to get more archers. Oh, I was very confused. It's like, what was this? There you go. Yeah, once this night goes through, I'll upgrade the keep, upgrade the town hall, however you want to call it. They're gonna need to finish upgrading real fast because this is gonna be kind of hairy. left side shouldn't be too bad off. Like, they should actually be pretty well because of the catapult. this real quick. Alrighty. Well, I want to say that I'm pretty good. I mean, I could expand up to this wall and then do the attack on that left side portal. That's probably the smarter way to go about this. No, I didn't mean to do that. Dang. Well, I mean, that's what I get for doing all that next to a friggin' tree. Well, I'm definitely bummed out about that. Howdy. How do you do? Oh, sick. That night guy would have fitted. So I've been doing pretty good. This stream's been pretty chill. Had a pretty rough blood moon, but I mean, all things considered, wasn't the worst thing like to happen. Did lose a couple of knights on the right side. That's good. Here, get more guys. Go check on the right side, and then probably go take down that left side portal. Yeah, since getting to Island 5, it's been kind of a little rough. I wouldn't say because it's of the gold, just more of dealing with the big guys earlier on. And then, like, 3 nights in, it was like a blood moon. I already had a feeling that that was going to be pretty bad, but definitely could have gone worse. Gonna get a retaliation. Probably gonna lose more guys because I think there's gonna be some flyers, but oh well. Yeah. So far with this playthrough, there's been like some sore spots on Island 4 and 5, but it mostly came down to like getting to Island 4 and then like 5 to 10 nights in or days in, it's like, oh yeah, blood moons. I just wasn't ready for it. Same thing kind of can be said about this island. I know during Island 4, when I was wrapping things up and getting ready to get over here to Island 5, had a pretty bad winter, where I just wasn't making any gold. It was kind of rough. But things should go smoothly from here on out, I want to say. Well, I am very concerned with how right side's doing. go to see how the other side's doing. I'd imagine well, because if the left side was what got attacked, then I don't think the right side... No, okay, so I'm fine. Awesome. So that might still need some gold. Yeah, and unlike other playthroughs I've done on lower difficulties, I've yet to lose my dog. So, been trying to keep an eye out for that. It was unfortunate too earlier because earlier when the blood moon happened on Island 5, here on Island 5, I had two of the hermits. I had the baker and I had the this one, the basically, you know, the Sun Tzu kind of guy. And apparently during that blood moon night, the freaking greed took my baker hermit. So I'm super bummed about that. So, oh well. Just means that when I clear out the island, and when I head back to island 1, 2, and 3, I'll have the baker again. But just makes trying to get people a little rough right now. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just for right now. It's a little bit of a sore spot, but I also had a dumb like brain off moment where I was giving gold to one of the knights, and I ended up being too close to a tree by one of the camps, and I destroyed the tree. No, I don't. No, when I went back to Island 1 in a previous stream, I was going back there mostly to just get like the griffin and the archer statue. I completely forgot about the hermit. Just wasn't something I was thinking about. I know that's something that my friend who got me into this game is like tried to like remind me of like, hey, you know, the engineer hermit's pretty good because of the ballista. It's just something I don't actively like think about. Because yeah, both of the camps that were closest to the I haven't played the Norselands. I don't have it. That is the only DLC I haven't tried. My friend, he owns Call of Olympus. We played that together. That was actually pretty fun. I would say so far with the DLCs, the two I like a lot are Call of Olympus and Deadlands. But I've yet to try Norselands. I hope to soon though. Actually, no. I'll just put it on this wall. Just to get him off so I don't accidentally lose him somewhere. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna clear out some more trees on the left side. Probably upgrade this archer tower right here a bit more, and then that'll probably it for the stream for me today. Uh, I've been streaming for a couple hours. Was already kind of looking to wrap up after I got that portal taken care of. Yeah, but I know, but I appreciate stopping by and chatting a little bit. You know, I've been mostly just trying to keep these streams pretty chill. Either, you know, if anyone comes by, says hey, or asks, or, you know, gives tips or says anything, try to respond as quickly as I can. There was a guy in here who came by earlier, said hey. I think I may have missed him a little on the response. That was my bad. Yeah, I've also been trying to like have a good habit with these streams where try to end them on the beginning of a new day, just to make things easy for me to keep track of. Excuse me. We're knocking stuff over, dog. What the heck? Moving my blankets around and stuff. Yeah. End this night off. Get to the morning. And that'll be the wrap up. And my dog is telling me that it's time to wrap it up because she's starting to get antsy. So she must want to go outside now. So she'll have to give me a minute. with the end of the night and the beginning of the new day. That is the end of the stream. Once again, thank you everyone who watched and listened, and for the guy who was in here chatting with me, very much appreciate it. Welcome to see you again if you come by next time. But until the next time, guys, hope to see you guys then. Hope to see you then. Sorry, and remember to stay chill, and feel free to follow if you like, and for those of you on YouTube, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe.